The games keep coming fast and furious for the Portland Timbers. After 2 home draws in a row, it's a quick turnaround for the best rivalry in American soccer. Sunday night up in Seattle, Timbers and Sounders. It'll be the first true taste of the Cascadia derby for our guest, Timbers defender Jorge Moreira. And the Portland Thorns World Cup winners are back. Hear from all 4 of them on Timbers in 30, which starts right now.
This is Timbers in 30, presented by AT&T.
Welcome to Timbers in 30. I'm Jake Zivin. Last night, the Timbers outshot Orlando 26-2. It was the fewest shots ever by a Timbers opponent, but it was a draw, 1-1, with Orlando's defensive game plan providing frustration and ultimately a point for them. It's a quick turnaround now to Sunday up in Seattle, the first Timbers Sounders MLS match of the year. And joining us today before that match on Timbers in 30 is defender Jorge Moreira. Jorge, thanks for coming on the show. First time that we've had you on, so we want to start big picture. How are you enjoying Portland? How are you enjoying the club?
Bien, muchas gracias por la invitación.
Really good. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. And this is a beautiful city. It's a very, very calm city, very relaxed. For the family, it's just a wonderful place to be in. And the club is just a wonderful club too. So as of today, we're really happy to be here.
You started your Timbers career with 12 games on the road, and now you're home, you're experiencing Providence Park. How is it being back home and the team in general? How do you feel like you guys are playing now that you have some home games?
Sí.
Oh, it's just very unusual to have to start a season with 10, 12 games on the road. And it's just crazy. And obviously we were looking forward to the opportunity to play in front of our fans, and we finally did, and we really live for those moments. We really like the fans here. They're just spectacular, and they just feed you with energy. They cheer you on during the 90 minutes, and we try to do our thing on the field and try to give them a really good experience and a good result when we play in front of them.
For you, playing in the right back position, you've adjusted, you've settled in. What's the biggest differences from playing right back for River Plate compared to playing for the Timbers?
I think the main thing is the system you play in. And for me, in River, it was more a system of possessing the ball. And over there, you just have like a little bit faster transitions, players just switching positions more rapidly. And I would play a little bit more just ahead of the line, just going forward, trying to play and collaborate more on the attack, just sending the ball through. It was more triangulations, and I think in that sense is where I see the differences. Here in Portland, you play more on the defensive end. You don't try to go as much up because the system that we play here is more of going to the counter with really fast counterattack, and sometimes that's the system which I feel I am adapting really well to it. And so it's just a matter of just playing according to the system you're in.
You've had to adjust quite a bit living in different parts of the world. For you growing up, what was soccer like in Paraguay?
Bien, la verdad que en Paraguay se vive.
Really good. I think just living in Paraguay, soccer there is a little bit more relaxed. It's not as intense as in other places. But it has evolutionized quite a bit in the last few years. We have really great players that are representing the country all over the world, and so just comparing it with MLS and like the Argentinian league, it is a very competitive league now, and so and it just continues to grow.
Your decision to come play for Portland, to come play in MLS, what was the process like, and how did you make the decision to come to Portland?
Fue una decisión.
Well, it was something that we had to consult the whole family because you know, we had to take a look at the style of living here. And so it was something that that we talked about, and then sat together and made the decision. And I think it was the right decision, because the MLS is a very competitive league and just full of just great players. And I wanted to be part of that too. But also is part of, you know, the infrastructure here in the United States, the spectacle, and how they just go about this type of entertainment. It's just it's a good situation. So I think for our family and me, it was the right decision, and we feel like we needed to be here.
It'll certainly be a spectacle on Sunday night. Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders, the best rivalry in American soccer. Let's get ready for that match. We'll start with the Western Conference standings, where the Timbers are now in 9th place after a couple home draws in a row. They're 4 points from the playoff line. Remember, 7 teams will make the playoffs in each conference this season. The Sounders have 35 points. They're second in the West, have the second most points per game in MLS. The Timbers on the quick turnaround to the rivalry match is our Advocare training report.
These matches, I think there's the right level of emotions. I think the players get ready to play, you know, on their own way, so we don't need to do much because they know what it represents, the importance of these matches. And they're excited as well to play, especially going there to play Seattle is, you know, is going to be great for the players. And hopefully we can get a good result. You know, we need to continue to get points. We want to continue to look, you know, how to get in the playoff zone. I think we're getting closer and closer. A win tonight would have been, you know, putting us in a situation right there. So that's why it's important for us to go there and try to get points.
Everybody's going to rest well, and we're going to be ready to face Seattle, because you don't even need extra motivation to play those games. You know, when you have to play against Seattle, you're mentally already ready.
Our local Ford Stores look ahead is focused on the Seattle Sounders, who are 10-5-5, 35 points. As I mentioned, second best points per game in the league, second best home record in the league. They are 8-0-2 at CenturyLink Field this season. Nicholas Ladero leads them with 9 assists. The two teams, Timbers and Sounders, met on June 12th in the U.S. Open Cup. That game played in Tacoma. It was a 2-1 win for the Timbers. The Sounders had a midweek friendly against Borussia Dortmund, but no competitive match this week. They're coming off a 2-1 win at home over Atlanta last weekend.
The Seattle Sounders, for me, they're the second best opponent Timbers have faced in the league after LAFC. They're solid at every single position. Chad Marshall, he's retired not long ago, so in place of him, Roman Torres has come in and is still formidable pairing with Kim Keehee at the center-back position. On loan at left-back, Brad Smith, for me, is the best two-way fullback in the league. He's been very, very good. And then up top, Raul Ruiz-Diaz, 9 games started, 7 goals. He's returned from Copa America, where his country, Peru, they placed second in the tournament. He scored a vital penalty in quarterfinals to eliminate his Sounders teammate and Uruguayan international Nicholas Ladero. These two, Ladero and Ruiz-Diaz, along with Jordan Morse, they make up one of the most fearsome attacks in the league. For you, Jorge, this will be your first taste of Seattle Sounders in regular season. What do you expect?
Yes, I have heard that it is a good thing to play on that rivalry game, and I am going to have a chance to play it this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really happy for the opportunity. These rivalry games are lived in different ways, in different places, and you know, I have had the opportunity to play in some of those other places where every player lives the week prior to that game in a different way. And here I feel like it's a little bit more relaxed, like there's not a lot of talk about prior to the game, but we know that we're going to go there. It's a very important game for us. We are going to be looking for the 3 points, and we know that they're going to have a full house. Their fans are also really great fans. They're going to pack the stadium, and it's going to be a very difficult place for us to play. But we're ready for the challenge, and we just need to go there and try to do the best that we can.
You mentioned the rivalries, the Clásicos that you have played in. River Plate, Boca Juniors, one of, if not the most fearsome rivalry in the world. What was that like? How would you describe playing in that match to somebody who doesn't know about that rivalry?
No, un clásico único en el mundo.
No, it's a very unique rivalry game. The week prior to that game, it really doesn't. It's a very special week. It's a very important week for the players, and for the people. You hear them talk about during the whole week about the rivalry game. The rivalry game. You go to the store. You go to the supermarket. You go to shop for clothes, and everywhere is nothing but conversations about that game. So it is very special. But then for the player, it is a very important week. It's a very important game because this could actually mark your history in the place of that rivalry game. Even if you just play in one, it just could make a difference in your career sometimes, because you have that special moment, you have that special score, and then or you know, if you make a mistake, it could be damaging too. So it is a very special game as a player to be part of, because it could basically mark that, and you could just leave your mark on the history of the team, good or bad. But it is a very unique experience.
Jorge, we appreciate the time. Good luck in your first taste of this American rivalry, Portland and Seattle this weekend. Thanks for coming on the show. Yeah. The Timbers and Sounders Sunday at 6:30 up in Seattle. You can watch this match on Fox Sports 1 or listen on the radio, 102.9 750 The Game. Following the historic reopening of Providence Park earlier this summer, you now have a chance to see the Timbers in person. Limited availability remains for select matches, so grab the best seats before they're gone. Your tickets, starting at $23, can be reserved at timbers.com. Coming up next, the breakaway. We look around the league at the biggest storylines in MLS when we come back. And later on, we'll hear from the 4 World Cup champion Portland Thorns, back with the team this week and ready to go after another trophy. Did you know you lose all of the 76 soccer contests you don't enter? That's why you should go online and enter the 76 Halftime Kick Sweepstakes for a chance to win 4 tickets to a Portland Timbers game, goal scoring glory, and $760 in gas. Go to timbers.com/76 for full details.
Now back to Timbers in 30, presented by AT&T.
Welcome back to the breakaway, where we look around MLS, and one of the biggest storylines right now is that the transfer window, the secondary transfer window, is open. Always impacts signings in the summer, and we're seeing one, at least to start, seemingly in New England. Gustavo Bo, their new designated player striker, scoring on his debut on Wednesday. New England smashed Vancouver.
And this is some goal as well for Bo to step into his time with New England Revolution. A reported $7 million paid to Tijuana for him to come and bring his services to the Revolution. And the New England Revolution are starting now to drop money into the club, with Bruce Arena being there. Carles Gil obviously was paid $2 million transfer fee to come at the start of the year, and so you look at it now, they're becoming fun to watch again, the Revolution.
Some other of signings of note: Omar Gonzalez playing with Toronto. There will certainly be more to come. How about transfers out? Always rumors in the summer. Jefferson Severino for Real Salt Lake, who had a brace last weekend, kind of atop that rumor mill.
Transfer target for West Ham and Newcastle United being talked about right now. And after coming back from Copa America, his form has really taken off. And you can understand it. He's at a good age, 22 years old, and the price tag they're putting on him is around $7.5 million, which you wouldn't think in world football is a huge amount of money for a player with his ability at his age.
Luciano Acosta almost made a move to Paris Saint-Germain in the offseason. That fell through, but still rumors for him to go to big clubs. They pop up all the time.
Sevilla, across in Spain, is one of the clubs, one of the suitors that are after him. He hasn't had a good year, and you just wonder how much of that was affected by PSG and the transfer not going through. But he's an exciting player, a good age as well, and again, these rumors, they seem to have something to it. And
will we see Jefferson Severino or Acosta when the Timbers play Salt Lake and DC later this year? We'll find out. Controversial moment this past weekend, the Hudson River Derby, New York City. A goal scored by the Red Bulls, the game-winning goal. They won 2-1. But what New York City is upset about is that the initial call from the assistant referee for this restart was a corner kick. The New York Red Bulls took a throw, and Alan Kelly, the referee, just let him keep playing, and eventually the goal was scored, and NYCFC was upset.
You can clearly see here that the assistant referee points to the corner flag, and what you don't see in the cameras don't catch is Alan Kelly, and whether or not he indicates an overrule of the decision, and it doesn't look that way. And from all the players saying they did not see any communication or hear any communication from Alan Kelly, it was a poor decision from a referee who is well experienced, one of the best in MLS. And I do feel New York City FC have a gripe here because it changes their approach. You see their center back Kynes, he starts to run back to prepare for the corner kick. Quick one from the Red Bulls, and they're punished for it.
More referee drama of sorts. I know you agree with this call Wednesday night. Albert Elise getting shown a yellow card for kicking the ball away, possibly at the assistant referee, and then a straight red card for bumping into referee Chris Penso.
Absolutely. This is good from Chris Penso. Right away, you see that Elise, for a brief moment, Penso, you would feel, is intimidated by the way that Elise has come onto him. And I don't think referees take charge enough from players who constantly complain, who are constantly ruining the game by surrounding the referee and arguing every little call. I think it needs more like this in Major League Soccer for referees to take a stand. As soon as a player starts to argue a bit too much, it should be a booking, and if it's too aggressive, they should be sent to the stands.
Chris Penso, a former Ohio State trooper, was not taking anything from Albert Elise. Atlanta went on to win that game 5-0, up a man for pretty much the whole game. Later on in the show, it's MLS picks. Ross against an MLS supporter, picking a kind of a mini rivalry week of sorts. And next, we're checking in with the Thorns, hear from their 4 World Cup winners when we come back. PGE's Peak Time Rebates program is giving away the ultimate VIP Timbers fan experience with 4 Key Bank Club tickets to the September 7th match versus Kansas City. A chance to meet a Timbers player and more. Enter to win at portlandgeneral.com/Timbers.
Now back to Timbers in 30, presented by AT&T.
The Portland Thorns 4 World Cup winners completed their victory celebration tour and are back with the Thorns this week. They're able to play for Mark Parsons tonight in Utah, and they're ready to go for a second trophy in 2019.
I've been really enjoying this ride, and it's been unreal, and I'm going to continue to be proud of it. But it's back to work in the NWSL, and without the NWSL, I wouldn't be where I wouldn't have been in France. So the work that I put in here is what has helped my career, and I'm going to continue to push in that realm as well.
Yeah, I think just starting with this season, obviously winning another NWSL championship would be incredible. I'm so proud of the girls and what they've been able to accomplish during the time away. I didn't have any doubts, you know. I feel like the team and the group we have, obviously Mark, being able to kind of like play the way they played, get the results they did was really awesome. So I'm really proud of the group. And then I think just coming back and wanting to win something else is always fun, and it's always definitely something that can keep you motivating, kind of that next game, that next competition.
I don't know, just getting back to, I didn't see a lot of minutes in the World Cup, so I think just getting into another rhythm of training and getting to play a game or multiple games to finish out the NWSL season, hopefully see a championship. But I think getting a lot of minutes and getting back to playing 90 minutes would be great.
Obviously, being back here, I say it all the time, this is my happy place, and this is where I absolutely love playing the most, especially here on this field and, with the Thorns. And so, I want to come back and help this team that's done so well while we were gone. And it was so cool to see. It was incredible, and I didn't have a doubt that players wouldn't step up, and they did, and especially the ones I knew would, and that was really cool to see. And so I think us coming back, we just want to contribute so much and help and go out and win this thing for them, whoever was on the field while we were gone, and how hard they worked and kept us at the top of the table as well. That is so cool. And then obviously we have the Olympics next summer, so I think internationally, there's big goals there for me, and I need to sit down and, really focus down on, what exactly I want to accomplish for myself individually. But right now, it's all about the Thorns.
Well, the Thorns are still buzzing off their dramatic win last week against the Orlando Pride, tied 3-3 in stoppage time, a corner kick. Tyler Lucy heads in the game winner at the death. What a game, what a moment.
I was standing in the center on the PK spot, and I was like, well, the ball's going back post and nobody's on me, so I'm just going to go get it and redirect it in. And Yeah, I went in and there was just the crowd just went up and roared, so it was undescribable.
So the Thorns on the road tonight. The U.S. women are back, kicking off at the Utah Royals in just minutes at 7 p.m. Watch this match on Yahoo Sports. T2 on the road this weekend as well. They play at Fresno FC on Saturday night at 7:30. You can watch that match on ESPN+. Coming up after the break, Ross versus a Timber supporter, picking the weekend's slate of matches when we return.
Now back to Timbers in 30, presented by AT&T.
Welcome back for MLS Picks, where Ross keeps on rolling. His last loss was April 5th. Another win last week.
Not surprised. And another win from Paul, who was coming at me on Friday night on Twitter saying, I'm beating you 1-0. I'm coming for your job. It didn't get much better for Paul after that as I started to kick into gear.
We'll see what Cord Schreiner has up against you this week.
Well, we only have 4 picks that are different, and I think, well, El Trafico, you got to go for LAFC based on how the Galaxy are playing. But how my weekend is going to start off nice is when Colorado take on New York City FC, and what we saw from Colorado last week. They're very resilient. I think this is one to watch. San Jose, I bring them up every week, but they're fascinating to watch against Vancouver, who have conceded 13 goals in the last 3 games. They've only actually scored 1 goal in the last 5 in all competition. They're struggling right now.
The Portland Timbers and Seattle Sounders finish off the week in MLS, 6:30 on Sunday night at CenturyLink Field. Watch it on Fox Sports 1. Listen on the radio, 189 750 The Game. Ross and I will have the call there. We'll talk to you from Seattle. We'll see you next week here on Timbers in 30.
Thank you for watching Timbers in 30, presented by AT&T. For more on the club, visit timbers.com.